Aloha. It's going to be a good night already. Welcome. My name is Mike Lipper. I'm the Academy Music Department Head, and I'm so glad you're joining us this evening for the Punahou Concerto Showcase. This concert is now in its 34th year and was first performed on February 22nd, 1992. It was created by Priscilla Smith, who served as an interim orchestra director during the 1991-1992 school year. This cherished tradition has remained a highlight of Punahou's music program, providing senior musicians with a platform to showcase their artistry and inspire young students. Even during the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, the concert continued, demonstrating its enduring significance within the Punahou community. Each year, senior soloists are selected through auditions held in October. Tonight's performance will also feature special video vignettes offering a glimpse into the personal musical journeys of these talented young artists and their reflections on the repertoire they will perform. There are so many people that we have to thank. This is a select list, and the challenge with lists is always that maybe you miss someone, but please know that it takes a whole community to make an event like this possible, and these are just some of those people that make it happen. We would like to thank President Dr. Michael Latham, Academy Principal Mr. Gustavo Carrera, and the whole school administration for their support of this concert. I'd also like to thank Helen Chow Casano, Director of the Punahou Music School, and Chris Ann Sills, the Music Department Administrative Assistant, and our Punahou Visual Production Center, affectionately known as the VPC. We are live streaming this event, and we'd like to thank Andrew Ryan, Director of Video Production, and our student team from Punavision for their coverage of this event. And we'd also like to thank our student live stream directors, Deanna Wen and Gemma Fu. Claire Treviso and Travis Flazer of the Dillingham Theater have been just invaluable through all our musical journeys in this space, particularly for this one. We'd also like to thank Sean Alterado, our audiovisual technician, and Grace Hagino, our student lighting designer. And lastly, Physical Plant for their essential support in making this event run smoothly. Can we pause for a moment and applaud for all of those people? We'd also like to thank the guest musicians we have this evening for collaborating with us on this concert. Mahalo to the students and alumni of the music department at the University of Hawaii, Manoa, as well as Punahou music faculty who are playing in our winds, brass, and percussion sections. And just before we begin, no one ever comes to a concert to hear me talk, and here we are. I'd like to remind you that this is a rare event, particularly in our very busy world, and encourage you to silence your phones and other electronic devices. Turn them off as you are able to do so, and just be in the moment in this space together as we share in some remarkable music making. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your evening.
So I began playing the violin when I was 3 years old. I got interested in the violin because of this cartoon called The Little Einsteins, and one of the characters played the violin in it. And ever since I heard the sound of the instrument, I really loved it. My parents bought me a toy violin for Christmas. So in the beginning, I actually didn't really like playing the violin. I think it took a lot of discipline for a young person, and it wasn't until I started playing in the Hoyu Symphony when I was 9 years old that I really started to enjoy the violin, and I realized that my favorite part about playing the violin is making friends and the collaboration of being in an ensemble. So that was when my passion really grew. I think playing the violin has first taught me a lot of discipline, especially when I practice, and creating that space and time to put in the practice. I think it's also taught me about collaboration, especially when I participate in like the Punahou Chamber Music program. I think music to me is a connection to myself and how I feel. I think by playing the violin that I'm able to express emotions in a more clear and open way than just with dialogue. And also it's a connection to my friends and my family. Like, I think I've made some of my best friends through like Punahou Symphony, Punahou Chamber Music, and also HYS. The first time I heard the Vieux-Tone Violin Concerto was when I was 12 years old, I believe. I attended the Punahou Concerto concert in 2020, and that was the first time I've ever been to a Punahou Concerto concert and the first time I ever heard this piece. I believe the player who was playing it was Leilani Ikeda, and I was simply blown away. I've never heard a solo violinist play with a symphony before. Henri Vieux-Tone was a violinist during the Romantic era. I think the very beginning of the piece, or when the violinist enters, is a very grand opening that viewers can look out for, and also the slow passage right before the final movement is one of the most heartfelt moments to me, and I hope it can bring some tears to a few people's eyes. So I would like to thank, first of all, my family, my mother, who played an instrument when she was younger, so she helped me with my musical journey throughout my life. My father, who attended many of my concerts and drove me to many rehearsals. My grandparents, who have also done the same, and my sister, who even attends my concerts. I'd like to thank Mrs. Casano for her efforts from within the musical department, Mr. Craig Young, Dr. Jonas Carlson for being my conductors, as well as Dr. Stefik from HYS. And I'd like to also thank Mr. Iggy Jang and Dr. Clara Kim for being my quartet coaches.
I've been playing the violin since the first grade, and I actually started being involved in music right when I was born. My mom was a violin professor in Korea, and growing up, since I was a baby in a baby chair, I would always be in her lesson room, listening to her students play, listening to her play, and it was kind of like my whole life. So when I was about 3, my mom bought me a toy violin. It was like a 1/32 size violin. I would always toy around with it, and I think that's when I found my passion. So starting from the first grade, I started taking lessons. My mom actually didn't really want me to take lessons because she knows how hard playing the violin is. But then my dad really wanted me to play the violin as he had to quit his violin journey in the past. And I got really inspired from attending all my mom's concerts and being in her lessons. So yeah, I started pursuing violin since the first grade. Now I'm here at Punahou. And since the 6th grade, I've been continuing my violin journey at Punahou. I've been actively involved with the Punahou Orchestra program as well as the chamber music program. And starting from the 9th grade, I started taking lessons from Mr. Iggy Jang. So he's my violin teacher now, but my mom still supports me a lot in my violin journey. And I've also started to be part of the Hawaii Symphony one since the 9th grade. One thing I learned from violin playing is that whenever I fail in a scale or fail in playing some hard, difficult passages, I shouldn't just quit. I should try to do it again, practice again until I achieve that goal. And that has really affected me because I kind of apply that principle to my general life. So even in academics and other extracurriculars, I've learned to apply that lesson. I really love music because it's both my haven and commitment. It's my haven because I really like creating music with other people, and I feel like it's kind of like creating art with others that everybody can enjoy. My piece is the Saint-Saëns Violin Concerto No. 3, third movement. It holds a great significance to me because it kind of represents my entire violin journey. And I also think that being able to participate in the concerto concert as a soloist, it is my happy ending. So I really appreciate that, and I think this piece correlates really well with my violin journey. I have a lot of people who I would like to thank for my musical journey. First of all, I would really like to thank my parents who are always supportive of me, especially my mom, who was my first violin teacher. They've paved the way for me, and without their support, I wouldn't have done it. I would like to thank my violin teacher, Mr. Iggy. He supported me since the 9th grade, and I'm really grateful for all his great lessons. I would also like to thank Dr. Carlson, Mr. Young, and Mrs. Casano for always supervising me through the Punahou Orchestra program as well as the Punahou Chamber Music program. And I would also like to thank the Hawaii Symphony and Mr. Joe Stepek, who was always really passionate about teaching. I would also like to thank my chamber music groups. All of them were really supportive of me, and I learned a lot from playing with them, as well as all my friends and coaches in the chamber music program. Finally, I would like to thank all my friends in the Punahou Symphony Orchestra.
I started playing the violin when I was 5.5, and I feel that I had a pretty good foundation because I started piano when I was 4. So I just continued to do those two things until about middle school when I quit piano to focus solely on violin. And I've been playing violin for, I think, 12 years now. I feel that violin's a big part of my identity. You know, I love music. I love sharing music with other people. I think it's something that everyone should try to appreciate or at least experience at some point, whether it's classical or just putting on like a song on the radio or something. I'm in multiple orchestras with Hwayu Symphony. I'm in the school orchestra, and then I also do chamber music, which is a quartet that Pono School hosts. I think that I've always had a passion for music. My parents are pretty musical. My mom, she played piano when she was young. She used to volunteer for her church. And then my dad also took piano lessons. I've always had a passion for music, and violin just helped me like express that, develop that. I'm really grateful that I'm able to play the violin and that I've invested so much time into an extracurricular that I like truly enjoy. It's able to convey emotions or feelings that words could never do. Music is something that it's like almost magic. So the piece that I'll be playing is called Sinfonía Español by Eduardo Lalo. And I decided to choose this piece because my private teacher said you either have two choices. You can play this piece or you can play Mendelssohn. And when listening to both of them, I felt that this one was very expressive. Like Mendelssohn is impressive in its own way, but the piece that I chose, Sinfonía Español, it was very flamboyant. It was like flashy. Like that's the reason why I chose this piece. There's going to be these two slow sections that will contrast the more like exciting, fast-paced runs throughout the piece. Just know that it's not all flashy. Like know that there's going to be this contrast between like slow and melodic versus flamboyant and fast-paced. When listening to this piece, I hope that you feel excited, and I hope that you try to pinpoint an emotion that you feel when listening to this piece. You know, I can't really tell you what that is. It's kind of up to your interpretation, but I hope that you at least feel moved by my performance. I would love that. I would like to thank my private lesson teacher, Miss Nancy, for being so considerate and really nurturing me throughout my entire violin journey. She really emphasized that careful, detail-oriented work is really important. Like, when playing a piece, even if you know the notes, that's not always it. You have to express it the right way. There's like certain dynamics you have to do, vibrato, there's like certain color changes. There are so many more things under the surface of just learning the notes that makes a piece really great. I would like to also thank my symphony directors, my quartet coaches, and just tutors that I've had throughout the years. You guys have really helped me improve and show me like the full scope of how I could improve or like what my potential could be. So thank you. And lastly, I would like to thank my parents for supporting me and always motivating me, even if I didn't appreciate it at the time. You guys are the reason why I'm able to perform today.
So many memories all these years. Absolutely fantastic. What a privilege to play music with you guys and everybody here.
Thank you so much for coming in. Wonderful job, soloists. We are so grateful for your wonderful talents, and we're grateful for your parents for helping you go through all these years of wonderful lessons and getting to where you are now. So thank you so much, and thank you, audience, for coming tonight. The concert's done.